Welcome to Kletus Roadside Service. We are having a good day. We're coming through Peculiar, headed south down to one of our customers here. Got to pull some water, which pulling water is a good deal. Running a tanker, a 6,300 gallon tanker, full aluminum, non-haz. Been pulling a lot of junk lately, like a lot of sludge and what they call trash loads and whatnot. So there's a lot of nasty shit stuck to the bottom of my tank right now. So I got a couple thousand pounds worth of just sludge that will not come out without, you gotta actually have your tank clean. So pulling some of this clean water is going to help out with that. It'll help, mix everything up and break it down. I hope at least. There's a lot of sludge in here, but I don't know. Just felt like getting on the podcast, talking a little bit. I got a couple things. There's a video going on right now about, I think, South Dakota, maybe North Dakota. There was a vac truck that exploded. Now, I wish I had more details about the whole situation, but I used to run a vac truck exactly like that. Not exactly like that, but basically the same damn thing. It had the big door on the back that was held on with wing nuts. I didn't have a drop axle on my vac trucks, but it's basically the same thing. I'm guessing that was a 3,500 gallon vac truck. Maybe it was a 3,000 gallon vac truck. But that's all I ever ran with 3,000. That's all we had. But man, that was exciting. Whenever I mean, those videos are all over now. I mean, at least my algorithm. I don't know about yours, but maybe I'll try to post them up on the Facebook group and say, "Look at that shit." But, yeah, that was exciting. I mean, it was not good. But these vac trucks are built to deal with vacuum and pressure. They're reinforced. They're made out of steel. They got different little braces around them to keep them in that circular shape. And that was just insane. That it was having some sort of a chemical reaction inside the tank, and it was boiling over, going through the. They have multiple blow off valves, safety valves on those trucks, to where if the pressure gets too much inside the tank, it will open and kind of like your radiator, have like the little spring cap on it. I've never looked into what those safety valves exactly look like inside, but I imagine it's something like that. If the pressure gets too much, it will open up and it will relieve pressure down to a safe spot. And then same with the vacuum. As you're pulling vacuum, if you're pulling too much vacuum, it will collapse that tank. Like, look it up. Look up vacuum on a tanker or whatever, imploding. And it happens fucking quick too. Everything will look fine, and then all of a sudden, it'll shrink and just, it's kind of crazy. But those things are set up to have, certain valves on them, because that's what I would always do. And even with the truck I got now, you can just pull as much vacuum as you can, but those valves will constantly be opening, regulating your vacuum. And same with pressure. But that one, I don't know what's going on with that. It was, definitely had a horrible chemical reaction inside that was expanding the material, off-gassing, or whatever it was doing, and it just it overwhelmed the safety valves on there and blew the rear door completely off. Now, I don't know that exact model, but we had these big fucking wing nuts on the back of those doors. It's a door that is it can open with hydraulic, and it's hinged from the top, and it's got most of the what we had. There were two on the bottom, two on the bottom side, two on the top side, and then two on the top. So it was what is that? 8 big ass wing nuts holding that door shut. Um, and then it's all obviously also got the hinge, and yeah, I mean it just exploded that fucking door off evenly, which was also, I mean, I guess the pressure was pushing that direction, but holy shit, that was fucking wild to see. It just sheared those wing nut, those big ass bolts off, and those bolts are specific for a back truck. Also, they're supposed to be real high tensile strength, something like that. But yeah, that I want to see where that door went because that's a big fucking door. It's like an 8-foot circular door. I don't know how much it weighs, not light, and it went flying. I mean, the truck went 100 feet that way. The door had to have gone the other. I don't know. That was crazy. It's like a big bomb went off, basically. But um, now I had an incident where I didn't have that happen, obviously, and I'm still here, and didn't have that crazy thing happen. But I built up vapors in my truck. I only had now this one. I don't know. I'm probably a little bit too open about what happened with this, and I mean, I don't feel like it was my fault, but there's a lot that goes into it. So I had a 3,000-gallon back truck, and I was going around to all these little gas stations, and I was sucking out their spill buckets where they put the fuel in the ground at the gas station. Those little red caps, green caps, yellow caps, uh, those little 1-foot caps or whatever. You can just pop those off, and then there's a hookup right there. And then, but underneath there, it looks like a 5-gallon bucket with a hose sticking up in the middle of it. So whenever these fuel haulers go there and they stick their hose on there, sometimes fuel will spill out. And I was not supposed to haul any fuel. I was supposed to only haul the water, because that was a problem. Whenever it rains a lot, water gets down in that bucket, basically submerges the hose that the fuel hauler is supposed to hook up to with water. So I'd have to go around, suck all the water out of that, so they weren't getting fuel inside their tanks at gas stations. I also did their sumps. They had those bigger lids. They're like 4-foot lids or 3-foot lids. You can pull those off, and you'll see like a pump in hoses, or not hoses, but pipes and shit down in there. And that's where the fuel goes through. Anyways, those were a much bigger containments. I think those could be up to like 300 gallons inside those, and I would suck all that stuff out, and so they could get down in there if they needed to check for leaks or check for, they could open the service people that would come and look at those could service. Man, I'm spitting again. I got a lot. My mouth is drooling again. What the hell is wrong with me? I need to take my heartburn medication. That's for sure. I grabbed a whole new bottle from the house. It should be right here. No, right here. You hear that? That's my good shit. Omeprazole. So, anyways, I was there doing that. And I had been doing that for a while now, and you can usually see the rainbow on top of the water because fuel and oil float on water. And if I ever got any of that, I could either throw an absorbent pad. If it wasn't very much, I could throw an absorbent pad. So these like white diaper, a lot of people call them pig mats or diapers or whatever, but they're absorbent pads for petroleum only. So they don't absorb water. They're made out of like fiberglass. Do not wipe your ass with one of these. But you throw it in there and it will soak up all of the shit that's floating on top of the water, and then you can suck just the water. There were a couple of times where I opened that up and it's just gasoline or diesel. Diesel was fine for me to suck up, but gasoline at the place where I was offloading, um, gasoline was not acceptable. Anything with a low flash point, like gasoline. Let me take these pills real quick. Oh yeah, that's cold water. Okay, back to it. I had one that was local, and it was kind of a strange situation. There were, well, not strange because there were several times there was barrels on site, and I was instructed to ignore the barrels. If there's ever barrels on site, document them, but ignore them. Other than that, don't do anything with them. Um, and then, but I would always have to call a guy and say, "Hey, there's barrels on site." And normally he'd say, "Okay, cool, just you know, take a picture of them, send them to me, and we'll get it figured out." Because they usually send our box truck out there, and they'll send a couple of guys with the box truck or me, and pick up the barrels, and take them to a hazmat facility. Um, but this particular day, I barely got any water on the truck. I got maybe 100 gallons of water, and then I pulled my last stop. I saw some barrels on site. So I take a picture of them, I send them to my boss, and then he calls me and he says, "What are those?" I said, "Those are some barrels sitting there." He's like, "What's in them?" I said, "I don't know. That I don't see any labels on them." He said, or no, it went a little bit different than that because he told me, he said, "Oh, that's the same shit that you're sucking from the sumps. Suck those barrels out," is what eventually happened. And, and he told me to do a sniff test on them, which is not really a good thing to do, but I crack the cap, the little cap off those barrels, and I can put my nose up to it and I sniff. I don't smell anything. So I stick my hose in there and I suck it out. I think it was two barrels, 55-gallon drums, and I don't know how full they were. I think one was full and one was probably like half full. Anyways, I had probably 150 gallons, maybe more, maybe less, but I didn't have very much on the truck. Now picture a 3,000-gallon tank with 150 gallons or 200 gallons on it. It's not very much. It's just at the very bottom. And I take it to I say, "All right, I barely have anything on the truck. You want me to just bring it back to the shop so I can just go out and do another run tomorrow? Or do you want me to go offload the truck?" He said, "Offload the truck. We need that truck for something else." I say, "Okay." So I go to the offload facility where I always go, and back into the shop. And the guy's like, "I need to get a sample." They'll usually climb on top of the truck, open the top hatch, and use a baler or a jerk off stick or whatever you want to call it. I think I'm the only one that calls it a jerk off stick, but it's a clear tube that's got a little plunger inside that you can put it down inside of a liquid and shake it, and it will fill that tube up, and you can pour it into a little sample jar. Man, I have so much saliva right now. I say, hey man, there's barely anything on the truck. I was like, it's only a couple hundred gallons. Let's grab it from the back. So it's my idea, and it's usually a fine idea. But I have two valves on the back of my truck. I got one valve that is the inlet tube. That's where you suck liquid into the truck, and then we have the discharge tube. That's where you drain the liquid out of the back of the tank. The inlet has on the inside, it has a welded pipe that goes up to the top of the tank. So whenever you're loading liquid, it pours it to the top. Otherwise, the other one goes straight. It's just a hole in the door, basically. So if you're loading from that one, it's pulling the liquid into the bottom of the tank, and the other one is pulling it to the top. It's a little bit less stress and a little faster to pull it through the top. You don't have to pull it through all that liquid. So I said, let's start with the inlet. I open the valve and I shut the valve. So that inlet tube, at the bottom of it, there's a valve. I open the valve so if there's any liquid that's in the top of that tube will flow down in between the valve and the cap. I open it, I close it, I take the cap off, and we only get like half of a sample. Not very much. So I say, all right, cool. And I leave that cap off, but the valve was shut. Then we go over to the other side where the discharge is, and I say, all right, there's going to be a lot of shit coming out of here. I do the same thing. I don't know if I opened it or not. It bleeds, that valve bleeds by quite a bit. Meaning the valve doesn't seal completely, so the cap, liquid's gonna get past that and come in there, and then the cap, it'll probably be full of liquid anyway. So, anyways, what I did was I cracked the ear on the cam lock cap for that, and it's a 4-inch. And as soon as I cracked the seal, it just fucking fireballed. Just fire. Me and another dude are like engulfed in this flash fire. And the cup that he was holding underneath the valve to catch any of the drippings, also caught on fire, and he threw it on the ground. And it was only 10 ounces of liquid, maybe. And he threw it on the ground. So, 10 ounces still spreads apart. So there's fire everywhere. We were both blasted in the face. And I turned to grab a fire extinguisher, but I don't see one. So I turned back to the truck, and I closed the cap the rest of the way, and I blow all the fire out. And then I stomp the fire that's on the ground out. And I look at the guy, and I'm like, oh, shit. He's like, what the fuck? I said, I think I failed the flash test. And then about that time, the supervisor came out of the shop at this offload facility and said, get that fucking truck out of my shop. So I say, all right, cool. I pull it out of the shop, and they rejected the load. Let's just say that. So I called my supervisor, my boss, and say, hey man, just had some sort of a fucking fire. He's like, all right, bring it back to the shop. He was being pretty nonchalant about it. He's like, stop at the office before you go anywhere, and we'll take a look at it. So I stopped at the shop, and he said, what was it? He said, get me a sample. Because that shit's pretty flammable. I want to see what it is. So all right. So I go out and I was able to get a sample without fucking exploding anything, and I bring it in there, and he's like, "This is straight gasoline." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "This is straight up gasoline. This is like 93 octane." I'm like, "Oh man." He's like, "You can't tell that this was gasoline?" I was like, "No." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You can smell it." I, he's like, "Sniff this," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't smell anything." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I don't know. I can't smell right now. Apparently, did I have COVID? No. What it was even though I was mainly sucking water from these gas stations, I was also killing my smelling cells or whatever the fuck you want to call them. My senses were fucked up. I could not smell gasoline because I had been around it so much. Even though I wasn't pulling a lot of gasoline, I was around a gas station a lot with my head down in pits, and yeah, it was not good, not good at all. Couldn't smell it at all. So, anyways, I just offloaded that in a different tank up on the hill out back, and I think I was really what I'm getting at is that truck almost exploded. Uh, how would have it wouldn't have been the same type of explosion that was on that video because that one was like a build up of pressure. Once it built up to a certain the pressure that those bolts could hold, it exploded. This would have been a rapid expansion. This one, their fumes are what get you with gasoline. Like you can have a little bit of gasoline, yeah, it's flammable, but the fumes that it creates are a big problem. And that's exactly what I had on my hands. And how that happened was somebody had an electrical charge on them. Could have been me, could have been the other guy. I don't know. I'm guessing it had to have been me because I was the one actually making physical contact with the truck. But as soon as I cracked the cap on that, just a tiny bit of fuel vapor came out and ignited. And if that inlet valve that I had, that I specifically said I opened and I shut it, if I would have left it open, which is crazy because normally I would leave that open. Normally I'd just leave that open and it would help vent the truck while I'm offloading. Uh, if I would have left that open and I would have had an electrical, static charge on me, it would have ignited and gone inside the truck and exploded. I would like to say it exploded a little bit even more crazy than that video. I'm thinking it would have a fire, it would shoot fire out of that valve like crazy, or it would just explode. Uh, Luckily, none of that happened. At least in this dimension. I think there's dimensions. I've brought this up several times before. I think there's both. We are every life, at least mine. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I think I can only speak for myself. I think there's multiple dimensions, and there's in one dimension, I exploded right there and died. But as soon as that happened, I switched to another dimension. It's like maybe it was Berenstein Bears, and then all of a sudden I exploded. Now it's Berenstain Bears, or whatever the fuck it is. Uh, so, anyways, in this dimension, I did explode and die. Um, and yeah, so I don't know. That's my experience on that. The only other one I have for that, I don't really have anything else that would really pertain to exploding. Um, been pretty safe, other than that one time. and it was all because I was desensitized to gasoline. You got to be able to smell it. Are there other ways of testing it? Yeah. You know what should have happened? Should have been just like any other fucking job where he has me ignore the barrels. That's what should have happened. I should have ignored those barrels because that's what we are thinking is that one of those sumps was leaking and filled up one of those pits, 300 gallons, or well, maybe not 300 gallons, but filled up one of the pits full of gasoline. They sucked it out, they fixed the problem, and then they had the barrels sitting there on the site. And then dopey me walking around just sucks out gasoline and damn near explodes myself. But did I get in trouble for that? Not really. I don't think that was all my fault. I think it was there's a couple of people that should have been held accountable for that. The people that put that liquid from the pit into those barrels is probably the first person to blame because they should have had those barrels clearly labeled. Like clearly labeled. If they're just barrels of gasoline, they should have been labeled. The next one to blame, should be me because I should have been able to tell that was gasoline. Or the next one would be my boss, where he said, "Yeah, suck them barrels out." Really? I never suck out barrels. Yeah, those are just the same shit you've been sucking. Okay. So I guess that would have been his fault, and then my fault for not noticing it was gasoline, and then yeah, I don't know. Anyways, didn't die. That's cool. What else is going on in the world? Well, the world is a crazy ass place right now. Are we headed to the end of times? I don't know. I don't think we'll know we're headed to the end of times until they're actually like here. So just keep on living, everybody. Let's just, business as usual. Let's just keep on going. Are we? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Let's open up Project Stargate and see what happens. Whatever that is. The Hadron Collider. Let's just fire that bitch up, and I don't know. Those are kind of conspiratorial. We had a meeting yesterday. It was a good meeting. We had a good time. Then he brought up no smoking in trucks. Like they're changing the rules at my company to where nobody's allowed to smoke in the trucks. No vaping, no smoking. They don't want our trucks to be smoked in or vaped in. And I'm sitting on the couch because I was actually at the shop for this meeting, so I was sitting in the room with the guy. And then he looked over at me. He said, "And you, no chewing tobacco in the truck." I said, "No." "No?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "No." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Buddy, I'm telling you no. I am going to continue to chew wherever I feel like because it's my choice. I am not harming anybody else with me sucking on some tobacco leaves. No, ain't happening." I had a little talk with him after the meeting. I said, "Buddy," because he also brought up the new write-up system or whatever, which they really haven't ever used in the past, I guess. But I guess they're going to start using it. So they're going to write people up. It's going to be a warning, then a verbal, then a write-up, then a write-up, then a fire, or something like that. I said, "Okay, I have a week before you're going to fire me then?" He's like, "I'm not going to fire you. No, we're gonna figure it out. Don't worry about it. I'm like, don't worry about it. You looked at me in the meeting and said, no chewing in the truck. How am I going to justify me chewing in the truck if you just looked at me and said that at the meeting? I'm like, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to stop chewing while I'm driving. That's insane. I'm affecting absolutely nobody else. There's no effect whatsoever that I could put on anybody else or the truck. Smoking and vaping, yeah, you're putting smoke into the truck, and you can smell it. It gets stuck into the fabric. You burn. You put burn marks on the window seals and shit, or on the seat. You got ash everywhere. Uh, yeah, I can understand that. Me, no, I don't do any of that, and I'm not gonna. I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna stop. So if you want me, I mean, I really do like this job a lot. Like, I'm so happy I found this job and things have been going well. But you're pushing it to a point where that's, and I'm not. He's like, well, you can just hide it. No, I'm not gonna fucking hide it. I will let every single person know that I am going to chew tobacco and I'm going to continue to chew tobacco. I'm not gonna hide shit. First off, I'm not a good liar. I'm also really big. I'm not a good hider. I'm not good at hiding nothing. Okay? So, too fucking bad. I'm going to continue to do it. It's going to affect nobody whatsoever. So, shut the fuck up. I'm doing what I want to do. And if it's a problem, I will find another job. So, that's kind of where we're at. Am I worried about it? No. I'm not worried about it at all. We were struggling to find drivers. I highly doubt me chewing tobacco is going to be a reason they're going to let me go after what I've witnessed with other people here. That there's no way this is going to be something they're going to let me go for. So all I got to say to that is I can either say fuck you, or I can just say, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to continue to do me and do these runs, and you can just continue to leave me the fuck alone. That's where it's at. So I don't know. It got me kind of heated yesterday. After that, no, I'm not gonna stop doing the only thing that keeps me sane on the road. You want me to drive for this long, and I'm like, you know what? You know what? You should also ban is just eating in the trucks and drinking in the trucks, because that's no, you're not allowed to do anything in the truck where it should be. What's next? No music? It could be a distraction. And we even had a guy on the fucking on the meeting. I don't know what the fuck he was saying. He was saying something like, "Oh yeah, if you're in conversation with somebody and you're visualizing stuff, that could also take away from your vision. So try not to visualize stuff while you're driving because then you won't be able to see." Huh? Hey, aren't you a driver? Can you shut the fuck up? The fuck are you talking about? Luckily, everybody thought he was a fucking insane saying that. But as you're driving, if you're thinking about a blue ball, then now you're driving, but all you can see is a blue ball. Huh? Shut the fuck up! The fuck are you talking about? Beat your ass, blue ball bitch, motherfucker. Oh, we can't imagine while we're driving now. No imagination. You can't think about it. What the fuck you want? All right, get the robot trucks in here because people are imagining stuff. while they're driving. The fuck are you talking about? I am driving into, it is 4:30 a.m. I'm driving into darkness on the highway. I'm not allowed to think about anything? The fuck are you talking about? And I'm not allowed to chew? I'm not allowed to sit here and pick up my cup and spit into it? Yeah, fuck off. Straight fuck the fuck off, motherfuckers. This job is just too easy and too chilled, and they gotta figure out something to fucking micromanage, apparently. Well, we gotta do something to make them mad. Like, god damn it, dude. Can people just leave people the fuck alone? Dude. And then, it's another funny one. He's like, oh, I need to ride with you. We need to do a driver's evaluation once a month. So, I don't know. I think he just wants to get out of the office. But, he wants to, he's got this piece of paper he's supposed to fill out and ride along with each of the drivers once a month or something like that. Or one driver, one every month or something like that. You already got cameras in the truck. You have sensors all over this fucking thing. Why the fuck would you need to ride with somebody? He was supposed to ride with me today. And was I gonna not chew? No, I was gonna sit here and chew. But you can give me. You better bring all the write up materials you need because you can get all 5 write ups today. Is you're gonna say, hey, don't chew in the truck. All right, that's the first warning, sir. I need you to not chew in the truck because it's against company policy. Okay, there's my verbal. Keep them coming because I'm not gonna fucking quit, motherfucker. This shit cost. I got like $3.50 in my fucking mouth. I ain't gonna throw this shit out for nobody until I'm ready to eat. God damn it. And after I eat, guess what? Another one's going fucking in. No fucking way. But yeah, they want to do a driver evaluation once a month, whatever. You have cameras in the trucks that you get to look at and watch us do shit all fucking day. What kind of driver evaluation? What are you gonna get different from riding with me in the truck for a couple hours? It's the same fucking shit you see on the fucking camera. Leave me the fuck alone. Where it's at. Getting irritated. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, no, it gives me something to bitch about that I feel justified in bitching about, and makes good content for the podcast. Because yeah, not gonna happen. I ain't never gonna quit. You ain't never gonna have me quit unless I decide to. I ain't gonna have anybody else fucking give me that decision. My body, my choice. But yeah, I don't know. This is the situation we're in. Oh, buddies. Anything else going on with you guys? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe give me a topic of some sort, and I'll try to bring it up. Try to go in deep with whatever you want me to talk about. Oh, seatbelt, man, keep locking on me. Yep. Back from vacation. It's a full week back from vacation, damn near. My son has developed some sort of a viral infection. Um, Poor guy. Luckily, it hasn't spread to anybody else. But poor guy. He's had a fever and stuff. It's like he's got the flu or something. I don't know, but he's getting better. He went to the doctors yesterday and they checked him out and got him fixed up. He was in really good spirits the whole time I was with him yesterday. Other than he does not want to eat. I feel like that's a problem. I made him eat at least a bag of chips. He just does not want to eat anything. He is just sitting there not eating. Poor guy. Um, we watched a couple movies. Well, not a couple. We watched a movie last night. We watched Fred. It's a movie about a really annoying teenager. This squeaks the whole time and screams. Kids loved it. I I didn't really like the whole. I didn't like it. It's an older movie, I guess. Didn't really like it. He got a lot of good laughs out of it. Um, have I done anything else productive? No, not a damn thing. It was. I got off at a decent time yesterday. I didn't have to come in till a little bit later, so I should have used some of my energy yesterday to mow the yard, weed and probably get my Jeep in the backyard into compliance. No, I went inside, got cleaned up, and sat around. I didn't want to do nothing. So that means either today when I get off work, or tomorrow or Sunday, I'm gonna need to. I gotta get a bunch of shit taken care of. But maybe I'll be better then. Because I'll tell you, yesterday I was so fucking tired. Red light over there. Just a red light on the side of the highway. Probably one of them fucking flock cameras. God damn it. I guess I could give you a little update on old Hunter. His with his new job. I've been talking to him a little bit. Uh, Poor guy. He's. I don't know, man. I feel like if I was his employer, I'd be a little ticked off because I feel like every time I talk to him, he's breaking down. He had one. Well, here just this week, he had said his fuel tanks were not properly going from one side to the other. They weren't draining at the same rate. He thinks one was blocked off or something. So he ran his truck out of fuel one day, thinking he had a full tank. He actually ran one tank completely dry. Then, so yeah, he ran it dry. He stopped. He fixed the problem. He said, got some fuel, filled up his fuel filter. So with a diesel, if you run it out of fuel, you have to reprime the. It's not just put more fuel in it and get going. You gotta actually like prime the system and shit. So he got the system primed and put the fuel filter back together, but he forgot to put the O-ring on. Rookie mistake. But so he drove another hour or so, and then they ran out of fuel again, and he realized it was his fuel filter forgot the O-ring. So he had to wait on a part for that. Poor guy. And then yesterday, I called him. I said, "Hey, do you ever get that fuel filter problem figured out?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "But now I'm broke down on the side of the road with my head gasket, or not my head gasket, his intake gasket or valve cover or something went bad." So he dumped all his oil out, something like that. I'm like, dude, they're gonna get tired of your ass. You better start looking for another job. They'll let you go at any moment. Like, what was the other one? I think he had a tire go on him once. Another one, I forget what the other one was. Yep, he's always broke down. I'm lucky. I haven't had any. I had to go get a couple tires repaired, but that wasn't breaking me down. That was just my next stop. We'll see what happens during winter, though. During winter, I'm going to do my best. Especially, I think it'll be easier this winter because I'm going to have my own truck. This is my truck. I run it. Nobody else runs it. I'm gonna because with the other company that I was with, I was going from this truck to this truck to this truck, and you couldn't tell who was doing what to the fuel system. You basically pretty much working at that company. What you should have done, which we all didn't do, is pour a bottle of Howell's diesel treatment anti-gel every time you drive. Every time you drive it, just dump a whole bottle in there. And because I don't know, my boss there, he said he's like we've done a test, and you can pretty much this Howell's stuff, you can pretty much fill your tank full of this, and it will run. So you're never gonna you can over treat it, and it's not gonna hurt anything. At least that's what he told me. But I would be driving a truck. It'd already have a full tank. I'd just take off, and then it'd gel up on me. Only a couple of times, really, but a couple of times too many. So with this company, I think I'm going to be the one, that is there for every fuel up. I'll be the one to be able to put the anti-gel in there. Shouldn't have any problem. Man, this lightning is getting crazy down here. I hope I can fucking load. Hope I don't put on lightning delay or something. Oh, I'm still tired. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Adios. Keep ball 18 down. We'll talk to you later.